In today's video, I'm going to give you an update to the BlackJack Legacy channel. Hi folks, welcome back to the channel. Just thought it was time to give a little bit of an update on the channel. We've had a few things going on recently with daily videos and then not daily videos, and then mentioning about doing my first Warhammer 40K army and then not really giving much of an update. And then we've also had a bit of a push for 1,000 subscribers. So I thought it was time just to kind of run through a few things and let you know where everything is. So first of all, daily videos. I did give this a bit of a go for about 4 weeks, I think it was, and I really enjoyed it. It gave me a couple of things. First of all, it gave me a lot of new videos for my channel, and I think this helped with subscribers. So when new subscribers come to view the channel, they saw I had a bigger back catalogue of videos, and they seemed to stay a bit longer and watch a few more. So this had the benefit of my channel grew with subscribers and my channel also grew in views, and that's really helped me push things on. It did, however, become quite apparent after about 3 weeks that doing daily videos probably isn't sustainable. I've got a full-time job, and with that job I travel around quite a bit. On weekends I have my twin sons come to stay with me, and I've also got a baby son as well who's 11 months old, and I've got a wife and I've got a social life, and I want some time to hobby as well. So whilst I really enjoyed making the daily videos is not sustainable. So what I've decided to do is I've decided to go to 3 videos a week. There'll be a new video on a Monday, new video on a Wednesday, and a new video on a Friday. And what I'm hoping to do is to try and break them up. So one day I'll try and get a sort of a sit and chat type video, one of my kind of thoughts for the day type thing. One day I hope to try and get some kind of gameplay, whether that's a board game, whether it's a miniatures game, maybe even a card game. And on the third video I'm going to try and do sort of a how to paint or a how to play, or a kind of how to build something a bit more kind of sort of teaching, a bit more knowledge type thing. So a sit and chat, a gameplay, and then some kind of a how to do. And hopefully that kind of gives some balance to the channel, and it keeps things fresh for me as well and keeps things fresh for you. Now, as you know, I'm not a one game kind of a gamer, so I will continue to cover a multitude of different games. So apologies if you come for one particular game. However, I will try and sort of revolve them around so I don't concentrate on one game too much or leave one particular game out for too long. Speaking of leaving games out, obviously I mentioned about how I was going to do my first Warhammer 40k army, and you guys all voted for Necrons. And so I thought I'd give you a little bit of an update about where I am. I haven't kind of forgotten about them. I have been working on them in the background. The hobby side of things has been a little bit on the shelf recently with holidays and everything else that's going on. So I'll just give you a little shot now of the Necrons. This is my unit of Necron warriors that came with the Star Collecting box, and it's took me a little while. I actually decided to do them a different colour rather than the standard silver one. Once I got them all done, I must admit I wasn't particularly very happy with them. So what I've done is I stripped them all back. Yeah, not one for doing things easy, am I? Stripped them all back and started again, and just decided to go with the box art as this would make it much easier for me to do it. So hopefully you like them. I quite like that kind of that cracked earth sandy base. The reason for this is I've got like a desert mat, and I wanted them to blend in with that. So I'm going to have some desert scenery to go with that when I eventually play my first game at home. But the plan was always to get to 1,000 points by the time I go to Warhammer World with the other guys from the YouTube channels and the podcasters. And whilst that's looking particularly tight now, I'm still hopeful that I'll get there. So I have built the... what's it called? Back in a second. Yeah, I have built the Stalker, and I've also built the Overlord as well. And I've got them primed, and I've got the first base coat on them. So I should get them finished in the next couple of days. Talking about getting things primed and getting them base coated, I've started using my airbrush for the first time as well. So I used my airbrush on the Necron warriors, and I've also used it to put the first to prime it and then put the first colours on them. And I have to say, it really does speed things up. I'm just using the cheap, probably like a £10 Chinese airbrush that come with the kit, and so far I've kind of got mixed feelings. So maybe you guys can help me. Maybe you know what's going wrong here. So I use Vallejo primer, and that goes through the airbrush, absolutely no problem at all. Comes through really well, I can control it, and it primes things great. When I'm mixing my paints to go through the airbrush, I think I'm probably not mixing them thick enough. I think I'm probably making them too thin, and they always come out looking very wet. I'm using both Games Workshop or Citadel paints, and I'm using Vallejo thinner. And I'm also using P3 paints with a little bit of Vallejo thinner as well. And I'm not as happy with the colours coming through, and I can't decide if that's the airbrush or if it's my mixing of the paints. I assume it's the latter because the airbrush seems fine for priming. So if you've had any similar problems, or if you can give me a kind of a tip on how I can improve things, it'd be great if you can let me know down in the comments. So we were talking before about how I've kind of had a bit of an increase in subscribers recently, thanks to the amount of videos I've been getting up there on the channel. Also thanks to some of the help that some of the guys in the community have been giving me. Things like the table build I did has attracted a few more people as well, and I'm getting some good views from that. So just as a kind of as a reference, my average views per month were about 5,000 views per month. And last month in August, I did almost 15,000 views. So things seem to be on the up. And with that comes the news this morning that I'd reached 1,000 subscribers. And I must admit, I am absolutely blown away by that. And I have to thank each and every one of you guys that view and click that subscribe button. But most of all, leave comments down below. We seem to get some really interesting sort of conversations going. And I love that interaction. I try to reply to everybody's comments. If I miss one or two, I apologise. Sometimes the app doesn't always tell me I have a comment, but I try to reply to every single one. And part of making these YouTube videos is to get that interaction with the community. So please continue to do so. If there's any videos you'd like me to do, if there's any kind of painting tutorials, or maybe how to use the airbrush, or any interest in actually making the YouTube videos, please let me know down in the comments below, because ideas for videos is always helpful. I've got some in my head, and I've got a few that kind of things that I want to work on, but more ideas is always great. So that's it for today's video, guys. A bit of an update on where things are, a bit of an update on where things are going to go. But please keep watching, please keep clicking that like button. If you're new here, please click the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video.